Good afternoon, youth parents and youth workers, and anybody else who might be taking a little bit of time out of your day to watch this video. I just want to briefly go over our events for October through December of 2021. Um, and I want to start out by saying, well, first of all, I want to start out by apologizing in case you hear any screaming children in the background. I came up here, got everything set up, and then as soon as I started recording this, then all the kindergarten children at the church just went into the gym and are all screaming in unison right outside this door. So that's always good. If you hear them, I'm so sorry. We're just going to roll right through this and it's going to be great. So I do want to say that so far this fall semester, I have been incredibly encouraged with not only our attendance, but also just how well our students have been responding on Wednesday nights, on Sunday night Bible studies that we just started, and everything like that. I think we've had a great turnout, and I think that these students are really getting a lot out of what we're doing here. We've been going through the passage of Psalm 23 on Wednesday nights and on Sunday nights as well. And we've just kind of been dissecting that passage and just, talking about how while this is such a familiar passage to us, that sometimes it can almost lose its meaning because it's so familiar to us. And so we've just been kind of breaking it apart week by week and kind of going in depth with that. And I think our students are really enjoying it. I know I definitely am. So I've definitely been encouraged with that. Something I do want us to work on this fall semester, and this is just something that is important to me and should be, a big focus for all of us, is on Sunday mornings. I love the attendance that we have in Sunday school, and I think that, I'm always encouraged by that. But one thing that I do want to see is, we'll have, on Sunday mornings, we'll have around 60 students in Sunday school, and maybe half of them are actually staying for the worship service. And so I really want you guys to partner with me in making that the focus for this fall semester, is not just going to Sunday school and then going home, but really encouraging your student that Sunday school and worship go together. You can't really have one without the other. I think that there's something very, very important when a body of believers come together for corporate worship on Sunday morning. So I just want to ask that you partner with me in that and just encourage your students to stay for the worship service on Sunday mornings as well. All the youth sit together in the balcony, so they won't ever really have to sit by themselves. And so that'll just be a good time for all of us to come and worship together. And then also remember, on Wednesday nights we're meeting up here in the youth room at 6:30, and then on Sunday nights we have started our Bible study. It's a 6-week session called "Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table" by Louis Giglio. And again, it kind of walks through that Psalm 23 passage and talks about how, in our lives, how so oftentimes we give power to the enemy. But with God, He wants an intentional investment in us, and He doesn't want us to allow the enemy a seat at our table. And so it's a great, great study. If you weren't able to attend last week, then I definitely encourage you to send your student this coming Sunday. But I want to very quickly go over the fall events. You should have received a calendar in your email by now. And if you don't have one there, it can be found on social media, on the student Facebook page. But I want you to go ahead and get that out and just kind of look through those events. We're going to briefly go through them, just talk about some times and everything like that. So the first one that you'll see is October 20th, and that's going to be our annual youth bonfire at the home of Kevin and Tracy Cox. That's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. And so basically what that's going to look like, we'll roast hot dogs, we'll do s'mores, and then also this year we're going to be able to do a hayride outside. So they have a great place for that, and so one of our church members is going to let us borrow their trailer, and so we're going to just have a little hayride through the woods that night. So that'll be a good time just to come and fellowship with one another. And then the following Wednesday, October 27th, is our trunk or treat. We started this last year instead of our fall festival. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But so the trunk or treat is basically going to be, if you've done one before, Basically, the Sunday school classes work together and they decorate the trunk of a car. They can think of a theme, they can think of anything that they want, but they are responsible for decorating whatever their station is and all that stuff. So last year we had superheroes, we had a Shrek theme, and so the students really get creative in coming up with themes for that. But I've already sent out a message to their Sunday school teachers so they know to go ahead and be brainstorming with their classes just to think of something fun to do. And so that's going to be church-wide. The student classes will participate, the adult classes will participate. So that'll be a good night for us as a church family to come and fellowship together as well. And then November 6th and 7th is going to be our fall retreat. So the fall retreat is one of my favorite events that we get to do. Last year we didn't get to do that because of COVID, so we kind of split it up and did a middle school and a high school retreat. But this year we are going to move forward with our fall retreat. So for all my people who went to high school retreat last year, we're going to do it at the same location that we did it there. So the fall retreat this year is going to be at Living River Retreat Center, and that is in Montevallo, kind of Montevallo. It's really in the middle of nowhere, but it's on the Cahaba River. It's a place that was built in 2016, and so the facilities are actually pretty nice, unlike some of the other places that we've stayed at. And so you might be wondering why this is only a one-night event, and it's because, very simple, our football players and our band and everything like that, they play on Friday nights, and so that already eliminates them. And also, in the past, we've been able to do this on a long weekend. And the only long weekend that students have this year, this fall semester, is the same weekend as Thompson's homecoming. And so that would lose a lot of students already. And so we want to give as many people the opportunity to come as possible. And so kind of how this is going to look, we're going to leave Saturday morning on November 6th. We're going to leave here from the church at 9 a.m. And so we'll spend the entire day at Living River Retreat. We'll do a bonfire that night. We'll do worship. We'll do games, all that stuff. The kids will be in a Bible study. And then that Sunday morning, we will wake up and we'll have a church service out there. And so kind of what that's going to look like, there's a little outdoor worship center that kind of overlooks the Cahaba River. And so we're going to have a Sunday morning church service out there, stay the day, and then we'll return to the church that Sunday at 4 p.m. on November the 7th. So only one night, but still a whole lot of time that we'll be there, and still a whole lot of stuff that we'll be doing during that time. That event is going to be $65. It's going to cover all the food. It's going to cover our leaders. It's going to cover the actual facilities themselves. So a pretty good cost for all that's going to be provided there at this retreat. Most facilities will run us about $120 per student, and so this place is very generous to offer us kind of a cheaper price when it comes to that. So we will, in October, we will have a meeting about the schedule, about the packing list, about all that good stuff. It's going to look very similar to the other packing lists that we've had before, but just keep that in mind that I will be sending you guys an email about that soon. And then on November 14th is going to be our Friendsgiving Dinner that, again, we didn't do last year because of COVID, but we still met and did something, so that was weird. But nobody knew what was happening, so it's fine. So our Friendsgiving Dinner is going to be here at the church. So what that's going to look like, the church will provide the turkey and the ham, and then everybody else, I just need you guys to bring a side or a dessert. And so closer to time, I'll send out a Google Doc with things that we need, and then you guys can sign up accordingly. Or if you think that you have the best green bean casserole in the whole world, then feel free to bring that. We are going to do the Google Doc just because the first year we did it, we had like 17 different kinds of macaroni and cheese, which is not really a bad thing, but we want to provide as much as possible. So that'll be November 14th in the fellowship hall. So and then December 8th. So we're not doing a fall festival this year. We're instead doing a trunk or treat. So instead, this year, we are going to do a church-wide Christmas festival. This is the first time that we've ever done a Christmas festival. I'm personally thrilled about this. And so this is going to be church wide and just a great night of fellowship. And I will have I'll send out more information on that as we get some more details for that. But that is going to be on December the 8th on a Wednesday. And then finally, the last event for the fall is December 10th. That's on a Friday night. It's going to be our annual youth Christmas party, and that is going to be at the home of Brittany Robertson and Micah Robertson. So, um, what we ask for this is that everybody bring a $10 Dirty Santa gift, and we'll play that just like we've done every year. The kids really enjoy that game, and then we'll do a catered meal, and we'll just have a fun night of fellowship together. So, again, in October, we will meet about the fall retreat. We'll meet um, about the schedule and the packing list for that. But also, we're going to meet about our Strength to Stand conference and our annual Fuge Camp in 2022. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the dates for that. Our Strength to Stand conference is going to be MLK weekend. It's going to be January 15th through the 17th. And the cost for that is going to be $175. If you've never been to a Strength to Stand conference, it's basically just a big youth conference. We'll stay in a hotel over the long weekend, and then the students will be able to spend some time in downtown Gatlinburg as well, and we'll just all hang out and go to the conference and have a great time. So, and again, once we meet in October, we'll talk more about that conference, as well as our annual Fuge Camp, which is going to be June 15th through the 19th. So this is going to be kind of a bigger camp than we've done in the past. So this year we're going to Glorieta, New Mexico, and which is a really big location. We used to do this in the past where every so often we would take the group to kind of a bigger camp location, just so every group that comes through the youth group will have a big experience like this. So the date for that, the actual camp date, is June 15th through the 19th. However, Glorieta, New Mexico is a little far away. So right now, the tentative date to leave is going to be June 14th, and we'll come back on June the 20th. So in the past, we've been able to stay a night at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in Dallas, Texas. And so basically kind of what that looks like is if you allow them to take you on a tour of the seminary, then they will give you a free night stay there and back from whatever trip you're going on. So, I mean, our students will tour a seminary in a heartbeat if it means that we get a free place to stay. So that's what the students have done in the past, and so I've been in contact with Southwestern. They said as of right now, then they are offering that again. They didn't do it last year, again, because of COVID, but, whatever. And so we never know, that could change or could not. But in October, I will have much more information about that. So the cost for this trip is going to be, the camp cost itself is $350. Now, I know that's a big price. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is to go ahead and start saving now. We're going to have a payment plan offered if that would be easier for you. But also, we're about to start selling youth merch, just FBCA students merch, and the students can either buy this for themselves, church members can buy, whoever wants to, and we'll have this available. And so that's going to not only help offset the cost for camp, but also we are planning to do Barb Sugar Showdown again, the big fundraiser that we did last year. So the goal of this fundraiser, we are going to rent a charter bus for this trip. And so the goal of this fundraiser is to help completely cover the cost of the charter bus, just so people don't have to pay any extra or anything like that. And the good thing about Fuge is that while you're there, every meal is covered, your housing is covered, every little thing there is covered. And so I do want to encourage you guys, though, to start saving now. We'll do another fundraiser as well, just to kind of help offset the cost, since this will be a bigger trip. But also, since our fall retreat and our Strength to Stand is going to be a little bit cheaper, then there shouldn't be that big of a problem. Again, if finances or costs or anything like that is ever an issue, please let me know. We have people in the church that will gladly cover students. We never want money to be the reason that people can't attend a camp or a conference or anything like that. So If you think that it's going to be an issue, then please let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get you taken care of on that. So, and again, in October, we're going to have an in-person meeting about fall retreat, strength to stand, and fuge. And so you guys be on the lookout for that as well. And then on the bottom of this calendar is just our service times: Wednesday night, Sunday morning, small groups and worship, and then Sunday night Bible study as well. And then on the back of the calendar, or I guess if you're looking at it on a computer, if you just scroll down a little bit, then it'll have all my contact information on the back. So if you want to get set up on the student Instagram or the student Remind or the Facebook or anything like that, then all that information is available to you. So if you have any questions about the fall calendar so far, then please feel free to reach out and ask me, and I will help you guys in whatever way that I can. So, but I will definitely, I'll keep you guys updated about that date.